Let's look at question number 4. Amira wants to make jelly to be given as souvenirs for her wedding by using a mold in the shape of a right prism, as shown in diagram 2 below. Okay, so let's read the question here. Okay, so it's given that the total length of the sides of the prism is 75 cm and PT is equals to QU. Okay, where is PT? So PT is here equals to QU. Okay, so it's 13. So this is 13, therefore this is also 13. Okay, then PQ equals to QR. So PQ equals to QR. Oh, which means that the other side is a square. Okay, this is a square. Yeah, this is a square. Okay. So, and UR is longer than QR. Okay, UR is longer than QR. Okay. So, determine whether the mold is suitable to be used to produce a jelly. For producing jelly with a volume of 155 cm3, and give your justification here. Okay, so I'm going to, okay, so this question, right, is based on systems of equation. Okay, systems of equation, yeah? Okay, so let's say if this is x, this will be x as well. This is x, and this side is also x. And if this is y, then this will be y as well. Okay, how about TU? TU is x. Okay, x. So now I have all the sides, yeah, the edges. Okay, so before that, I use Pythagoras theorem for this triangle because it's a right angle triangle. So it's a right prism, right angle triangle. So this is y, this is x, and this is 13. So from here, I can form an equation, okay, which is x squared plus y squared equals to 13 squared, right? So this is what? Pythagoras theorem, right? Pythagoras theorem, yeah? So this is my equation 1, okay? So or x squared plus y squared equals to 13 squared is 169. So this is equation 1, okay? Then next is, they say that the jumlah panjang, yeah, of the CC is 75 cm, which means that I add up all the sides. I add up all the edges is equals to 75, okay? So I add up, so I have 5x because we have 1x, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So I have 5x, so 5x, and then I have 2y's here, 1 and 2. So plus 2y, and then I have 13 and 13, right? So plus 13, and it's equals to 75, okay? So let's simplify this one. So 5x plus 2y equals to 75 minus 13 minus 13, so we get 49, okay? So I make x as a subject. I make this as a subject, okay? So x is equals to 49 minus 2y, then over 5, okay? So this, I take it as equation 2, yeah? So now, I'm going to sub equation 2 into equation 1, and then I'll get my answer, okay? So I'm going to do it at the bottom because got more space, yeah? Okay, here. So again, I write down, okay, the first equation is x squared plus y squared equals to 13 squared. Okay, equals to 13 squared, which is 169, right? This is equation 1. And then equation 2 is x equals to 49 minus 2y over 5. So this is equation 2, okay? So I'm going to sub equation 2 into equation 1. Okay, so x squared will be 49 minus 2y over 5 whole thing square, and then plus y squared equals to 169, okay? So now we're going to open up the bracket. So 49 squared is 2,401, then minus 2 times 2 times 49 is 196y, negative 2y whole thing square is positive 4y squared, okay? And then 5 squared at the bottom will be 25, yeah? And then plus y squared equals to 169, okay? Then the next step is to get rid of the 25 at the denominator. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get rid of the 25? So all the terms times with 25, okay? So the first term, when I times with 25, so I have 2401 minus 196y plus 4y squared. And then the second term, I times 25, become 25y squared. Okay, and then 169 times with 25, so I'll get 4225. So now I've already gotten rid of the denominator. So now I solve this by simplifying it. So we can actually simplify this because it's like terms, right? Y squared and y squared. So 4 plus 25 is 29 y squared. So it's 29 y squared then minus 196y. Okay, and then this 2401 minus, this one bring over here, become minus 4225. So you get negative 1824, okay, equals to 0. So in order to get y, and then on the right hand side is 0, so we just need to factorize this into 2 brackets, okay? So factorize it into 2 brackets. Okay, so here will be y and 29y. Okay, so for those who think that, oh, this is such a big number, how am I going to think of how to factorize this one? Okay, everybody take out your Casio ClassWiz calculator. Okay, so look at your calculator. There's a menu button. So press the menu button and then you press the left side 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, can you see A equation? So you press alpha. Alpha stands for alphabet and it's not alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, so alpha, and then we have negative button with a tiny little red A there. So press the negative button. Okay, so this is what? Simultaneous or polynomial. So whenever you want to factorize, it's considered as polynomial. Okay, simultaneous equation is when they are given 2 equations or 3 equations. So for now, I just want to factorize this. So I press 2, okay? And the highest power is 2, right? Y square. So y square power is 2. Okay, so you see the pattern, ax squared plus bx plus c. So you're going to key in your a, b, and c into your calculator. So a is 29, then press equals. And then b is negative 196, and then you press equals. And then your C is negative 1824, and then you press equals. Then you press equals again, your x is 12. So if your x is 12, which means that your y is 12. So if it's positive 12, then inside the bracket will be negative 12. Okay? Yeah, negative 12. Okay, and then you press equals again, you get negative 152 over 29. So you see here, there's a 29y in your bracket, right? So it's negative, then it will be positive 152. Okay, positive 152. So we already factorize it. So our answer is y equals to, when the first bracket equals to 0, then y equals to 12. Okay? And then when the second bracket equals to 0, so your y is negative 152 over 29. Okay? So for this, right, your y cannot be negative. So it's considered as what? Rejected, right? Okay? So this is rejected. Just reject it. Okay? Rejected. Yeah? So therefore, your y is equals to 12. Okay? And then after that, don't forget to find your x. Yeah? So your x, I'm going to substitute the y value into equation 2 to find x. Okay? So I'm going to sub y equals to 12 into equation 2. Okay? So it will become x equals to 49 minus 2 and then 12, then over 5. Okay? So 49, okay, this one, just press menu 1. So it go back to normal. So 49 and then minus 2 times 12 is what? 24, right? Okay, 24. Then equals and then divided by 5. And then we get 5. Okay, which means that our x is equals to 5. Yeah? Okay, and then the question, we still haven't answered the question yet. Determine whether the mold is suitable to be used for producing jelly with a volume of 155 or not. So if, okay, so here is 155. So you have to make sure that it's 155. For this, yeah, okay, we're going to find the volume first. Okay, so the volume for the prism is half times base times height, right? So which is 5 times 12. We already got the value of x and y. Okay, and then after that, you times with the length of the prism, which is 5. Okay, so the length of the prism is 5. Okay, for those who are like blur blur, let's look at the picture. Look back at the diagram. Okay, so to find the volume of the prism, we just have to find the area of the cross section, which is the triangle, right? So this is the x value that you gotten just now was 5, right? And then this is equals to 12, right? So this will be half times 5 times 12, correct or not? Okay, to find the volume. To find the volume, you have to times with this length also. So which is x. X is 5. Okay, so let's calculate how much is this. Yeah, so go back to the bottom. So you see here, it's the same. Okay, so half times 60, 5 times 12 is 60, is 12. Okay, so 5 times 12, 5 times 12, and then after that, you divide it by 2, and then you times 5. So you get 150. So 150. So 150, So this is not suitable because it's less than 155. Okay, so therefore is not suitable. Yeah? Okay, and this question is 7 marks. So where do we get the 7 marks? Where do we get the 7 marks? So the first one here, 1 mark. First equation, 1 mark. And then second equation, 1 mark. And then after that, you sub in. So this is 3 marks. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then factorization, 4 marks. Okay, y value, 5 marks. And then x value, 6 marks. And then this not suitable, justify, 7 marks. So total is 7 marks for this question. Okay, let's look at question number 5. So this is on functions. So for functions, you need to know about composite functions and inverse functions. Okay, so let's look at question 5a. So given that fx is equals to m over x plus n, whereby x cannot be equal to 0. Because if x equals to 0, then it will become infinity. Okay, so fx is equals to inverse fx. So fx is composite function, and then inverse fx is inverse function, which means that you need to know these two things, okay, in order to solve this question. So they ask you to show that m plus n square is equals to 0, and this is 4 marks, okay. So 4 marks means the working is going to be very long. Okay, so I'm going to show you step by step. I'm going to use the space at the bottom. Okay, so here, so I'm going to find what is my inverse fx first. Okay, so my fx is given as m over x plus n. Okay, so I let this to be y equals to m over x plus n. So now my aim is to get x to be the subject on the left. Okay, so I'm going to solve this. So this is y equals to m plus, so this one have to times x to make the denominators the same. Okay, so m plus nx then over x. Okay, and then this x, I'm going to move it to the right hand side. So it becomes xy equals to m plus nx. Okay, so now I'm going to group them up because I just want one x. I cannot have both sides to be x, right? So I'm going to move the nx to the left side. Okay, so it's going to be minus. So plus on the right, minus on the left. So xy minus nx is equals to m. Okay, and then I'm going to factorize this. So x, I bring it out. So y minus n inside the bracket. Okay, so now I want it to be only x on the left hand side. So which means that the bracket, I'm going to move it down. So it becomes divide. Okay, so m over y minus n. So this is going to be my inverse function. So I'm going to write f inverse fx is equals to, so because if it's in terms of x, right? So the y also I have to change to x. Okay, so here, this one is the inverse function. Okay, then after that, okay, let's look back at the question again. So here, the second part here. So fx is equals to inverse fx. So this is where the working is going to be very long. So students need to be very careful when you're expanding or when you're shifting to the left, to the right, to get your answer, to show, okay? So I'm going to show you step by step here. Okay, so we're going to continue here. Okay, so fx equals to inverse fx. So we already gotten the inverse fx, which is here. So fx we're going to do manually. Okay, so this fx we're going to sub it into f. Okay, so the f is this m over x. So we're going to put in the m over x into here. Okay, so become m over x plus n like this. Okay, and then there's a plus n. So equals to, the inverse is, just now we already gotten here at the bottom. So m over x minus n. Okay, so we're going to solve this one. Okay, so we're going to solve this one. So this x, this bottom is actually m over m plus nx over x. Okay, plus n equals to m, then x minus n. Okay, and then this x, we can bring it over here. Okay, so become mx over m plus nx plus n equals to m over x minus n. And then now I'm going to make these two denominator to be the same. Okay, this one. So which means that on this n over 1, I'm going to times m plus nx top and bottom. So become mx plus n, then m plus nx, then whole thing over m plus nx equals to m over x minus n. Okay? Okay, then after that, we continue. We open up the bracket. Okay? So we are going to times inside the n. Okay, times inside 1 by 1. So we have mx plus mn plus n square x. Okay? Then over m plus nx. Then equals m over x plus n. Okay? X minus n. Yeah? And then after that, we are going to see how we can solve this. So this top, right, we can actually factorize it because x, we have this x and x, right? You can factorize it. So become m plus n square, and then outside there's an x, and then plus mn, then over m plus nx. So equals m and then x minus n. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so now we are going to see what we can do. So we're going to do cross multiplication. Okay, cross multiply. So this one bring up, and then this one also bring up. Okay, so we times together. So x minus n. Okay, so it's going to be a bit long. Okay, and a bit complicated. But anyways, okay, it's still doable. Okay, still doable. Yeah, so I'm going to do it here. So this will be, okay, m plus n square and then x plus mn. Okay, this one. Then times with x minus n, which is from the right, bottom right. Yeah, then equals to m, then m plus nx. Okay, so now we are going to times inside 1 by 1. Okay, so this x minus n, I times inside here and also here. Okay, so we will get m plus n square, whole thing, then x, right? And then after that, x minus n, and then plus mn x minus n, and then equals, so this one, expand the bracket. Okay, so you get m square plus mnx. Okay, so next is I'm going to times in this one. Okay, 1 by 1. Yeah, so become m plus n square, and then x square minus nx, then plus mnx minus mn square equals m square plus mnx. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to expand. So which one we can expand? So we got the x square already. So now I'm going to do the next step. So m plus n square, then the whole thing times with x square, then minus n, m plus n square x, and then plus mnx, then minus mn square, then equals to, okay, this is m square, just bring it down. Okay, so from here, we have to expand 1 by 1. Okay, so we will get, okay, this one is just write it as m plus n square first. Okay, then x square minus, this is m n, and then outside there's an x, so m n x. Okay, then after that, minus n cube x plus m n x. Okay, then after that, minus mn square equals to m square plus mnx. Okay, so now you see what we can cancel. Okay, we can actually cancel this out and this, right? Because 1 minus 1 plus and mx. Okay, so we have simplified a little bit. So let's continue. So we have m plus n square, and then whole thing x square, minus n cube x minus mn square equals to m square plus mnx. Okay, then after that, everything move to the left hand side. Okay, so m plus n square, and then x square, minus n cube x minus mn square, then minus m square plus mnx, then equals to 0. Okay? Okay, then after that, we continue. Okay, see what we can do with this. Okay, so we have x here, mnx, n cube x minus mn square. Okay, so now I'm going to open up this bracket. Okay, we're going to open up this bracket here. Yeah, so m plus n square, x square, minus n cube, okay, right back the same, mnx, this is n cube x, okay, and then after that, I'm going to rearrange it. So the negative mnx at the back, bring it to the front. Then minus mn square, and then after that, minus m square. I'm just rearranging it, okay? Okay, then after that, the next step, m plus n square, and then x square minus, okay, this one we can factorize the x out, okay? Factorize the x out, and after that, this one, we can write as like this way, equals to, okay, wait, so mn square plus m square, and it equals to 0. Okay, so the next step is, okay, let's see what we can do from here. The next step, we can take out the n, okay, take out the n, and then this one we can take out the m, okay? So this one, m plus n square, holding x, holding, okay, bracket, times x square, m plus n square, holding times x square, then minus, so this, I take out the n, so become n square left inside the bracket, plus m, and then this is nx, then minus, so this one I take out the m, okay, so we get n square plus m, and then m, okay, equals to 0. Okay, so then we see, look at the next step, okay, so if we see clearly, right, we have m plus n square, then we have this m plus n square also, right, and this n plus n square, so we can factorize it out. So we're going to take out m plus n square, okay, and after the x square minus nx, and after that minus m, okay, so you can see it from here, this one, and this one, so I put it over here, okay. So next is, I'm going to move this bracket to the right, so it becomes 0, right, okay, so it will be m plus n square equals to 0, okay. Okay, so this question is, it carries 4 marks. So where do we get the 4 marks? Okay, so here we have 1 mark from this step, okay? Then 1 mark from here, inverse. And then after that, at the bottom, so we have 1 mark from here and 1 mark from here, so shown. So total here is 4 marks. Let's look at question B. Given that fx is equals to 2x minus 3. Okay, so find the values of this, okay, f and then f inverse p minus 2, then equals to 3 over p. So do you know that when you f and then you times with the inverse, right, is actually, you will get p minus 2, okay? So it's actually p minus 2, then equals to 3 over p. Okay, so the p, you move it over to the right, to the left hand side, and then you times. So p minus 2 equals to 3. So it will be p squared minus 2p, then minus 3 equals to 0. So when you see these 3 terms equals to 0, you just need to factorize it into 2 brackets, okay, equals to 0. So p, and then we have 3 and 1, so 1 minus 1 plus. So when the first bracket equals to 0, so p is 3. And the second bracket equals to 0, so p is negative 1. Okay, negative 1. So now we have the answer already. And this is 3 marks. Okay, where do we get the 3 marks? So we get here 1 mark, and here 1 mark. Okay, so total is 3 marks. Let's look at question number 6. So this is on vector. So in diagram 3, ABCD is a quadrilateral. So quadrilateral means anything that has 4 sides. Okay, it's 4-sided. And AED, CFE, and BFD are straight lines. So given that AB, vector AB is 20x. So we label here A to B. So A to B, The direction matters for a vector. So this is 20x. Okay. And then AE, vector AE is 4y. So AE is, so here, this is 4y. And then BC is 5x plus 4y. So B to C here. So this is 5x plus 4y. Okay, and then BD, vector BD is negative 20x plus 16y. So where is BD? BD is the whole thing. Okay, the whole thing, which is negative 20x plus 16y. So I put it over here, 20x, negative 20x plus 16y over here. Okay, the whole thing. And BD is equals to 4BF. So if BF is one part, if this is one part, okay, so FD will be 3 parts because the whole thing is 4 parts. Okay? Okay, so we got this already. So let's look at the question given here. So express in terms of x, n, or y. So 1 CD and 2 CF. So we have to find CD first. Okay? So in order to find CD, I am going to use the triangle CBD. Okay? CBD here. I'm going to use this. So I'm going to concentrate on this. Okay? So I'm going to draw it over here so it's easy for me to see the triangle. Okay? So this is C, this is B, and this is D. Okay, so they want us to find CD, which is here. So what is given is here. Okay, which is 5x plus 4y. And then this is also given as negative 20x plus 16y. Okay, so we have to show our working on how to get CD. Okay, so for question A1, so to find CD is CB plus BD. Okay, so you see here, just to double check, CD. So the first must start with C and ends at D. Okay, so it seems that here the BC is given as 5x plus 4y. So if it's CB, opposite direction, we just change the positive to become negative. So we times with the negative. Okay, so 5x plus 4y. Okay, because we change direction, we just put a negative outside. Okay, and then plus BD. So BD is given as negative 20x plus 16y. So for this, we don't have to change the sign because it's the same direction as the one given. Okay, so it's equals to, so negative 5x minus 4y and then minus 20x plus 16y. Okay, so when we solve this, negative 5x minus 20x, it becomes negative 25x. Okay, then negative 4y plus 16y, so is positive 12y. Okay, and this question is 2 marks. So where do we get the 2 marks? So first step, 1 mark, and final answer, 1 mark. So that's how we got the 2 marks. Okay, now let's solve for A2, which is to find CF. Okay, CF, yeah? So where is CF? So C to F is here. Okay, going down. So I'm going to concentrate on using this triangle CBF. Okay, this triangle CBF. So I'm going to draw it over here. Then it's easy for me to see. Okay, so CF is going down. Then this is CB. And then this is BF. Okay, so here, this is what they give you. So this is what you need to find. And this is what they give you. Okay, so 5x and then plus 4y. And then this is C, and then this is F, and this is B. So for B to F, we can actually, this is actually a quarter of the whole thing, BD, right? Okay, so this is actually a quarter of BD. Okay, so now we're going to solve question A2 to find A2, okay, to find CF, vector CF. So I'm going to use, okay, for CF, is actually I can use CB, okay, CB which is opposite direction, and then plus BF, which is the same direction. Okay, so CB is negative 5x plus 4y, and then BF is a quarter of BD. Okay, so equals, so negative 5x minus 4y, and then after that plus 1 over 4 of BD, which is negative 20x plus 16y. Okay, then negative 5x minus 4y, and then this is minus 5x. This is divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4, so 4y. Okay, then we rearrange it. So negative 5 minus 5, you get negative 10x. Then negative 4 plus 4y is 0. So 0. So the answer is negative 10x. Okay, so for this question, this is 1 mark. Okay, where do we get a 1 mark? So this is 1 mark. Okay, so here the total mark for question A is actually 3 marks. Okay, just now A1 is 2 marks, and then A2 is 1 mark. Yeah, so that's it. Let's look at question B. Given that CF is equals to KCE, where K is a constant, so find the value of K, and this is 2 marks. Okay, so let's do this for B. So they give you CF is equals to KCE. Okay, so from here, CF, from the diagram, CF is equals to, just now you already got the answer from the top. Okay, so CF, you got this, right? CF. Okay, CF is negative 10x. So I'm going to use it for question B. Okay, which is here, at the bottom here. Okay. Okay, so CF is negative 10x equals, okay, K, and then this CE, we can use CD plus DE. Okay, CD plus DE. Okay, so in order to get this DE, we have to do a side working. Okay, so this is side working. I'm going to do it over here. So side working to get DE. Okay, so I'm going to find DA first. Okay, so DA, DB plus BA. Okay, so is equals to, so DB from the diagram, D to B is opposite of BD. Okay, so negative 20x plus 16y. And then for BA is negative 20x. Okay, because they give you A to B. So let's look at the diagram. BA is where? BA is here, right? Opposite direction. But if it's A to B, then it's 20x. If it's opposite direction, then it will be from B to A, then it will be negative 20x. Okay, we just have to change the sign from positive to negative. So it becomes negative 20. Okay, so it's negative 20 here. Yeah, here, negative 20. Understand? Okay, so let's open up the bracket. So we have 20x minus 16y and then minus 20x. So we get negative 16y. Okay, and then this DA is equals to DE plus EA. Okay, so here DA just now we got a negative 16y. So I'm going to put it over here. And then DE is what we need to find. Okay, we need to find this. Okay, this. Yeah. Then EA is negative 4y. Okay, EA is negative 4y. So where is EA? Okay, let's look at the diagram. Where is EA? So E to A is over here, right? But they give you from A to E is 4y. Okay, this is AE. So what if it's EA? Opposite direction. Then it will be negative 4y, right? Okay, if it's opposite direction, then you have to change the sign to negative. So it's negative 4y. Okay, let's go back to the bottom. Here. So this is negative 4y. Okay, so let's solve this. In order to get dE, so this negative 4y have to move to the left hand side, right? So negative 6 plus 4 is negative 12y. Okay, so now we already gotten the dE already. So this dE, I'm going to put it over here. Understand? Okay, so here will be negative 10x equals to k, and CD is negative 25x plus 12y. Okay, and then your dE is negative 12y. Okay, so let's solve inside the square bracket. So negative 12, okay, positive 12y minus 12y, you get 0, right? So you only have negative 25x here inside the bracket. So negative 10x, okay? And then we need to find what is our k. So k will be, so the x and x no more, so we'll get negative 25. Here, negative 25. Okay, we'll be at the bottom, right? We move to the left. Okay, so this one, k will be negative 10 over negative 25. So become positive 10 over 25. Okay, negative become positive. So then we simplify this. Okay, top and bottom divided by 5. So we get 2 over 5. Okay, so this question is 2 marks. Okay, 2 marks. So where do we get the 2 marks for this? So here, this step is 1 mark, and then final answer is 1 mark. Okay, so that's how we get our 2 marks. Let's look at question C. This is supposed to be C. Okay, C. So if modulus x is equals to 1. Okay, modulus means it's a magnitude. Okay, and magnitude y equals to 3. So angle DAB is 90 degrees. So find magnitude of BC. Okay, so for this is a working. Let me show it here. Okay, so given BC is equals to 5x plus 4y. Okay, so if they ask you to find the magnitude of BC, means they ask you to find the distance of BC. Yeah, how long is BC? So I'm going to use this 5, okay, and then this modulus x is 1, right? So it's 1, yeah, then square, okay, then plus 4, and then modulus y is 3, so it's 3, okay, and then you square it, okay, and then remember to square root, okay, square root the whole thing. So 5 square plus 12 square, and then you square root it. So this will be 25 plus 144, then you square root, so you get 1, this is 169. Okay, so square root 169 is 13. Okay, that's the answer. So there's 2 marks for this question, so 2 marks. So where do we get the 2 marks? So here, this step is 1 mark, and final answer is 1 mark. So that's 2 marks.